On today's episode of the Living on the B-Side podcast, I welcome Kristie to the microphone. Kristie is a musician with a long-term lung illness that has started to impact her ability to sing. However, she's not going to let that discourage her from keep doing it, or as she says, I will do what I need to do to keep moving forward. Music is what I love, what keeps me going regardless of the obstacle, and I look forward to a better tomorrow. I hope you enjoy this inspirational chat. Welcome to another guest episode, and I'm so excited to welcome Kristie to the show today. And I know this is going to be a very interesting conversation, a very powerful and hopefully very thought-provoking as well, to make us realize that sometimes our life is not as bad as it seems, and there's always something good to look at and do. So welcome, Kristie. Thank you so much for coming to the B-Side today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been excited about this.
Me too. Oh, I was looking at some of your videos and songs in preparation for our chat, and I'm really excited. So let's start at the beginning, so it makes a little bit of sense to what we're going on about here. Right, let's start with your backstory a little bit. Music and your love for music. When did it start? And, tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I kind of grew up in a musical household.
Mhm.
My father had a beautiful voice, although he didn't really utilize it much. He sang in church, but just in the congregation. My brother was a really good musician, great guitar player, great songwriter, beautiful voice. He was kind of my role model. And yeah, I was in band in high school. Then I changed to chorus. Then I found a vocal coach, and it kind of started from there. And as I got older, yeah, I started working in a music store, taking guitar lessons, and I was just in that world for quite a while. But then I had to put it aside to do other things.
Yeah. So music was always there in your life in some shape or
Yeah,
form.
absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that seems to be a little bit of a common theme for a lot of us who are sort of in this kind of world as a listener or as a maker.
Yeah. As I was growing up, my father used to take me to concerts, excuse me, all the time to his fate to see his favorite artists. They were not necessarily mine, but it exposed me to a lot of different artists, and I listened to a lot of things because of that.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I think that's one of the greatest gifts parents can give. Passing on the music love and then taking the kids to different experiences when they're growing up.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that kind of explains how music shaped you and why it still is such an important part in your life.
Yes.
Now, for anyone that's joining us here on video and watching this chat, this interview, they can obviously see that there's something going on with Kristie, and that probably explains why, when she said before something kind of happened, I think life had a little bit of a different path for you at some point. Do you want to kind of share what happened, what took you away from music? And
Well, honestly, I stepped away from music for over 30 years.
right.
I was
Yep.
just going to school and working a few jobs and just trying to get by.
Mm-hmm.
But then, that year happened, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
That year. That we all love that year.
well, it was actually really good for me because I couldn't do anything or go anywhere. So I watched a lot of YouTube. I went back to school and finished college. online, of course, and I picked up the guitar again and started writing, and I never looked back.
Mm. Yeah. It's interesting how for some people the year 2020 and this whole pandemic thing made them stop and reassess their lives, and other people they just got caught up in the whole whirlwind and not much changed for them.
Yeah.
So for you it was definitely, by the sound of it, a pivotal phase in your life where you kind of found music again. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Do you remember, was it just watching YouTube clips there that sort of you went, oh God, I should pick up my guitar? Or do you remember a moment where you went, I want to make music again?
Yeah. I went down the rabbit hole on YouTube, and I was listening to an artist that I liked,
Hmm.
but I never really heard him as much as I did when I was watching those YouTube videos of him playing guitar and singing and listening to his words and his emotions and watching him play. I kept thinking, I used to be able to do that, and I want to do it again. So
And who was
that's
that
what
artist? Let's name him. Come on, let's name the artist.
his name is Miles Kennedy, and he's my favorite musician and such a wonderful human being and so talented and just a really nice man.
Hmm. Yeah, that's I always love when you come across musician that not only make music that is really powerful and meaningful to us, but also the person behind it, the human being is really seems to be, because obviously we don't know them personally, but they really seem to be like decent human beings as well.
Yeah.
Because so sadly, I guess, and I don't know 100%, but I assume that in this whole industry, there's not always nice human beings who are in it for the right reasons, or they portray one thing and then there's someone else. So
I think honestly, it's more often than not that the
mm,
people are really, really wonderful. The
mm,
people that I've gotten to meet and know are amazing.
mm,
So
that's
I'm
good.
very happy about that. I feel
That's
very lucky.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, I guess most people who, or most musicians who go in to the industry, they go in with the right idea and the right meaning and the right heart, because they want
Yeah.
to do the craft, but maybe the industry itself can be a bit difficult and makes them into someone that they don't want to be, but because of the pressures and everything, they become someone that they're not. So I don't know. I'm just assuming here. So maybe you can shed a bit of light on that, because you obviously work with, or have, I assume, more connections in the music world with other artists and things like that.
Yeah, the industry itself is really hard. I got into it at the really wrong time, but you know,
Mm,
it
yeah. But you
just have to keep going.
Yeah. So you obviously picked up the guitar. You started to, write music again. Um, you started to sing again, from what I understand.
Yes.
What's the story behind, or how the story behind, where you are now? What happened with your health? When did that come into play?
I was diagnosed with something called pulmonary sarcoidosis back in 2009.
Mm,
That's
okay.
something where the granulomas start forming, and my lungs look like they're filled with cobwebs
Mm,
right now. And I put it into remission a couple of times. And in 2019, I I was traveling a lot, and I got what I believe is COVID before it had a name.
Hmm.
And it took me down for weeks. I was crawling on the floor, and luckily I already had an oxygen machine here at home, but I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get off the couch. And it took me a while to recover, but I got back, to my daily routine. But since then it has gotten progressively worse over the last few years. And now I'm on oxygen 24/7 since, I believe, February of last year. So, but it's
Yeah.
like I've told people before, it's a speed bump. It's not stopping me from doing what I want to do, what I love doing. I just have to do things a little differently.
Yes. And that's sort of the reason why we both said we want to do this chat here, so we can obviously share your story and your speed bump that you're currently facing. And that I think there's two reasons why you're here today. And, I would love to hear your thoughts on that after. One, obviously, to share your story about music and how much you love it, and, that you are a musician and the music you're making. But also, and that goes hand in hand, that what's happening to you is not the end, and you gain strength, and I feel you want to encourage other people to not let things like that hold them back in life. That's how
Exactly.
I feel is what you're
Yes.
trying to say, but please share it in your own words, because I think that's more powerful than me saying it.
Yes. And actually, I just recorded some vocals for a new song about an hour ago.
Wow, really?
Using my oxygen tank, my trusty oxygen tank. And, it's a powerful, heavier rock song. So I can still do those. I can still hit some high notes on occasion and have some power in my voice. So
Incredible.
yeah, I don't let it stop me.
Hmm.
I just have to, like I said, do things a little differently. And I record all my vocals here at home because I have a home studio. And then I send everything to my producer in Las Vegas. And he puts it all together like a magician.
Wonderful.
Fun. I
Yeah.
love it. Every minute of it.
I hope you don't mind me asking a little bit more about when you sort of realized that, you have to wear the oxygen mask, and the way you probably, especially record your songs, will change slightly, I would assume. What was going sort of through your head and your heart when you realized that, oh, this is not a road I'm going to take? How am I going to deal with this? What was sort of going on within you at that point when you realized things changed? How do I deal with it?
Well, last year, I traveled to Nashville last January 23, to do some recording. And when I came home, I realized I was struggling a lot and started making strides to go see doctors and find out more about a lung transplant. I had an oxygen machine in my car. And at that point, when another car would be coming past me, I'd take the oxygen off because I didn't want anybody to see me. I hated people seeing me with oxygen on. I felt embarrassed. I felt less than. It was awful. But I realized if I want to stick around and do the things that I love, pursue my dream, that I've got to do what I got to do to keep going.
Mm.
So I finally got past that embarrassment because people don't care. They
Mm.
occasionally somebody will look at me a little weird, mostly little kids. But adults, my friends, they support me. They encourage me. They're always there to help, and they don't think of this as being less than. So I got over that.
Right. I'm very, very happy to hear that. And I'm also very happy that you've had the network
Yeah.
to help you.
Yeah.
Do you think that's really important to have at least one or
Oh
two
my
people
God.
who have your back?
That's extremely important.
Mm, I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah. And at one point last September, actually, I flew to Connecticut to see my favorite musician, the man who inspired me. And I, of course, had this on, and he looked at me with genuine empathy, concern. He already knew who I was, and he was just so very kind. And I letting him see me like this was, was
Mm,
definitely the changing point too.
yeah. So did you actually meet him, or was it just like a crowd interaction? So you met him, did you?
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great though, that you actually
We
get to
have
meet
we
that.
have mutual friends too, so
Oh, that's even better. Who can say
yeah.
that? Oh yeah, I just kind of met my favorite musician, my favorite artist. We were in the same circles. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
But that's good. I think if you can have that kind of experience with someone you I wouldn't say look up to, because I think that's wrong. You should never look up to kind of raise someone above you, if you know what I mean. But if there's someone that inspires you and you meet that person, and that person in real life is basically how you hoped they would be.
Yeah,
Again, I think
absolutely.
that's very energizing in a way, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Hmm. Now, I think it's incredible. I've checked some of your songs out, obviously in preparation for our chat, so I know a little bit what the songs you make and the music you make. And I know this probably sounds a little bit, I don't know if it's cliche or judgmental or whatever. Please pull me up on it if it is. But I was listening to it and I thought, huh, you would not tell that you have to have an oxygen mask on. Your voice is really just so nice. Like, you just could not tell what's actually going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes. And
Well,
then I stepped back and thought, okay, well, if Kristie can do that, why are so many of us letting ourselves down in doing what we want to do?
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? Have you pondered around that as well? Obviously, you might have with, COVID and all that, but
Well, one of my songs
mm,
called Working on a Dream, because, being a musician was always a dream of mine because I looked up so much to my brother. And now I'm doing it. I'm working on that dream, but while I'm living in a nightmare, are the lyrics.
yeah, well, sounds pretty accurate to me in some shape or form, isn't it?
Exactly.
Mm,
And yeah, I don't know. I have to do it.
mm. So you don't think too much about it, just know this is how it is. Why ponder around it? Can't change it. Just got to do what I got to do. Is that how you kind of approach it?
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I have my days
yeah.
where, some depression sets in and I don't feel like doing anything. But then I look over at my dog
Oh,
and she just brings me so much joy, and I talk to friends, and then I pick up the guitar, and that depression is gone.
Power of
When I start
music.
working on music, my
Mhm.
mood lifts.
Music is so good at that, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best medicine that's out there to
Yeah.
help with your mood. And I wish more people would realize that.
Yeah, and I watch a lot of comedy
Mm.
shows, anything to make me laugh. I can't watch the news or any of that. I just have to stay uplifted.
That's a very good point. A very good point, honestly.
Yeah.
I've sort of stopped watching the news years ago. Obviously, I keep informed what's going on because you have to.
Right.
You live in the world, you can't just switch yourself off from it. But I'm very selective, put it that way, of what I let into my little life window.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so I totally agree. And laughing for sure. I love watching YouTube videos where you maybe see like funny interviews of musicians or, some do like, I'm not keen on reality shows, but if it's something funny, then I kind of watch it if it's with music, obviously. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff out there, and I think we have to keep the good vibes going for sure.
Yes. Let's do that.
Exactly. I'm still kind of, and you probably think this is silly, but I'm still trying to process that, you do what you do. This, I think it's incredible, and hats off to you for making the music you do because it's beautiful music. And I
Thank you.
do feel in your voice it comes through this determination that you don't want to let anything stop you.
Yeah. I think that's an underlying theme for most of my songs. Just keep moving forward.
Mm,
That is all we can do in life. We don't know what tomorrow holds. None of us do.
mm, true.
And life is short, so live it to the fullest and do what you love.
Mm,
Be with the
yeah,
people you love, and
yeah.
yeah.
And I know sometimes that can be hard. You have phases in your life where doing what you love might not be such an option. But what I'm learning, and let me know if you agree with this, is that we can instill at least 5 minutes of what we love every day.
Oh yeah.
Don't just shove it onto a shelf and think you can't do it because it's not making you money to pay the bills, or it's not furthering your career, or it's not helping your family or your partner or your dog or whatever. I think it's essential for us to keep going and feel alive.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I keep telling people that being a musician is the most expensive career I've ever had.
And it's not the easiest career either, I think.
No.
And I'm not even in industry. So I can only assume here. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, keep doing it. Because I
Yes,
think,
absolutely. I can't do anything else. So,
yeah. Which brings me to my next question very nicely, actually. What are your sort of short-term dreams and goals at this point?
well, first and foremost, I want to get stronger, get
Hmm.
healthier.
Hmm.
I'm doing, I'm working to get on the list for a double lung transplant. I'm looking at two different hospitals right now. So, you know, being a very compliant patient, doing what I'm supposed to do with them. But I'm also looking at natural methods of healing, which has been helping me a lot the last 6 months. So I'm getting somewhat better with that. So, just getting my health back, even a little bit, is number one. Number two, once I get my lungs healthier or get the new ones in and get, healed and ready to go, then I want to get out there and perform live.
Mhm.
I've never really played my songs for anyone except for my mother. And I just
Oh.
did the one song that I wrote for her. So I want to get out there and perform. Yeah, that's my main goal.
Mm. Yeah. And I really keep all my wiggly bits crossed that that's going to happen very soon for you. That you can do
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Yeah, because it's not quite as much fun, or you don't get as much energy when you sit and play guitar by yourself in the room. So
Yes.
it's nice to, have some feedback and
Yeah.
let people listen.
Yeah. And maybe form that connection too, as you have with your favorite artist. Because I think
Yeah,
that's, I guess a lot of artists love that. That gives them that sense of maybe accomplishment, fulfillment, having a two-way street, like in real
yeah,
life.
yeah.
That'd be wonderful. Yes, let's put that on your list of things to do. I really hope it happens.
On my vision board.
Amazing. I think anyone that listens to this or watches this today and gets up with a little bit of, I don't know, I have a lot of headaches. That's something that I'm prone to. I think we might have to sort of reassess a little bit. Is it really that bad? I can still get out of bed and do something. So we should all be a little bit grateful for where we're at and how good our life is, even if it doesn't feel like that. So that's what
Yeah,
I take out of talking to you, especially.
I've been starting every morning writing a few things down on my gratitude list.
Gratitude. Yes, the big one.
Yeah. And that
Big one.
kind of sets the tone for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And if you're not keen on writing, you can always just wake up in bed and go three things. Right on the top when you wake up. Three things. And just do that every day. Yep. Totally agree. Now, I want to know, throughout your life, is there a particular song that you look sort of back on and have really fond memories? Do you remember any song or artist that, I mean, you've already mentioned your favorite artist, but is there like a particular song of your favorite artist that you go, God, this has helped me out of a hole a lot?
Well, his band Alter Bridge has a song called Blackbird.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the lyrics in it says, "May you never be broken again." And I got a tattoo last year with the image of the blackbird and those words underneath, and new lungs inside the blackbird.
I like
So that,
that.
that that song has, tremendous meaning to me.
It's goosebumps because if you have a song like that,
Yeah.
I wish we could all have the opportunity to have that song or one song, and then also the opportunity to tell that artist the impact it has on us. I know we can't all do that. That's impossible, but yeah, amazing. And really, I mean, you could go down the road and say, are you really broken? I don't know.
At times I feel like it,
Yeah. I
but
would think so. I mean, I probably would.
yeah.
Yeah. That's understandable, but yeah. Anyway, could go down a rabbit hole of all these kind of questions, and I don't want to go there today. Let's keep it uplifting.
But, some of those broken pieces, when they are put together, that can form what I call a mosaic, which can be beautiful.
Mm. Isn't there like a saying in Japanese or something, or don't they do when like something breaks, like a vase or something, and they put it together with like gold glue? I
Yes.
can't remember how it goes. I'm so sorry. I just remembered it then, but it's basically saying, you got to highlight the broken bits because that's what makes it beautiful, kind of along those lines. I know I
Exactly.
probably got it completely wrong, but that's how I understood it anyway. Yeah. And here's a question I ask everyone that comes on my show, because I think it's always such an interesting question and hear the answers to as well. If there is a particular song that you would have to pick at this moment in time to describe your life or your business, if obviously you're a musician, that's your business, which one would you pick and why?
One of my songs, you mean?
It could be yours, it can be someone else's. It doesn't matter.
Well, actually, I have a song called The Other Side.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you on the other side, living my new life. My
Mm-hmm.
future won't be denied.
Mm.
So that's a song about life post transplant.
Yep. Mm. Powerful stuff. It's like a mantra almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Well, the one thing that I definitely walk away from today from our interview is to not be so whingy and whiny myself. Honestly, I admit I can be such a whingy person, and I think I've really got to tone that down a lot because my life is literally not that bad.
We all have our moments.
Yeah, and that's life. I guess we all get challenged in life in some shape or form. Why some get challenged harder than others, who knows? I guess we'll never find out. Maybe that's just how life is, and you just got to accept it as best as you can. I don't know. Again, you could ponder and think about that for God knows how long. But yeah, I think it's just nice to get reminded that, life can be good, and what we perceive as bad is not always that bad.
Right.
So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that a lot.
You're very welcome.
Yes. Obviously, anyone that wants to check out Kristie's music, please do. All the information will be there for you to go and do so. But is there anything else you want to say to people who tune in today? Anything that comes to mind?
No, just tune in and turn it up.
I love that one. Yeah, that sort of goes back to the old days when we had hi-fis and stereos and stuff like that. These days, you just got to go on your phone and turn it up. Not the
Turn it
same
up to
feeling, is
11.
it? Yeah,
No,
turn
it's
up the
not.
oven. Make it harsh. Yeah, good old days when we're not talking about the oven here, we're talking about a hi-fi stereo where you had to turn the
Yes.
volume up.
Yes.
Good old days. Yes. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I think that's really great advice. Get your favorite song out and really turn it up loud and let the moment take over.
Yes. Sounds good to me.
Great. I'm glad we agree. All right, Kristie. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story, and I'm 100% certain it will help someone else get out of the dump today and make
That
them
would be a
shift.
blessing.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Absolutely. Good luck with, your health. I really keep all my wiggly bits crossed. It's going in the absolute right direction for you. And
Thank
for
you.
you, B-siders, please stay safe, please stay healthy, and don't forget to listen to music every day. And as I always say, at the end of every episode, I'm sending you much music and love. Until next time, take care. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.